Problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools. You could call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't none.
What's going on, you ugly motherfuckers? This is the Totally Blitz podcast, the only place you come when we talking sports, getting drunk, and smoking hella weed. These are your hosts, Paul, Pick'em, Win'em, Contra, and I'm joined with
Kev, don't got a quarterback, Savoy.
Ooh. What happened? Ready?
It's your own franchise.
It's always the people in the circle.
Years. Hey, man.
There's no, I'm flying high today.
Hey, man. You flying high. You flying faster than a motherfucker. But we going to get to that. But, hey, man, I had to give my dog Matt Ryan his salute. Shout out, man. 14 years, greatest draft pick in Falcons history. You made me become a real Falcons fan because I used to just like Michael Vick, but because of you and Michael Turner and Roddy White and drafting Julio and motherfucking y'all boys did that, that whole team is gone. But hey, me and the Dirty Birds is still here. You feel me? Because if you ain't left yet, then I don't know what the fuck is the point of leaving now. We've still riding for my fucking dirt. But hey, I'm gonna be sad over here. What we talking about today, Paul?
Today we're talking football. We're catching up on what we left off last hand. There's been a lot more signings, some trades, some new rules being put into place. So we got there's a lot of shit to talk about when coming to the NFL right now. And to start it off, kicking the whole show off, we got to talk about the new rules. Everything's different. Just kidding. Just overtime in the playoffs. New rules are coming. Both teams will get a chance to have possession come overtime. In the postseason only, regular season rules are the same. As a person who is adamant on the rules need to stay the same because certain things have always been certain things. It's sudden death. I let my boy Kev, who's pouring up some drinks, if you can't see because you're listening, that boy's pouring up in his Falcon shot glass. R.I.P. He's gonna talk to us about how he feels about these new rule changes come overtime. But shit, hold on, I got mine poured up. Everyone don't see I got my Dolphins shot glass and he got his Falcons. Salute, I guess, to Matt Ryan and the Dirty Birds. May they come back stronger than ever.
Yes, Sirski, man. It was a good ride.
Woo. But Kev, with these new overtime rules, how do you feel? And I know you didn't want them to change, but now that they are changed, do you like them? Do you not like them? Just give me your overall thoughts on the new rules.
Hey, man, and shout out anybody that was watching because I definitely did not clean the shot glass before I took that shot. And there was a lot of stuff that I said, it's for the show.
Ooh, for the show.
For the show. We do it for the blitz. You feel me? I'm blitz. But hey, man, I would love to flash back to us earlier this playoffs talking about how the fuck we felt about this shit after the Bills and Chiefs game. Take a moment. Okay, but motherfucking, I understand it. I respect it. I like it. But I'm standing on what I said. Like, It's not sudden death unless somebody's playing not to die. Like, if you as an offense get on that field, you gotta score, bro. If you don't score, whew. Defense, you gotta get a motherfucking stop.
Go get the ball.
Go get the fucking ball back. Do what the fucking Bengals did. Go get the fucking ball back. It be like that. Hey, man, the Falcons Super Bowl 51. We lost. We lost very bad. But Julio Jones was unfucking stoppable that whole game. What if he had a chance to get back on the field?
See, this I knew this was gonna be like, because that's what's gonna leave a sour taste in a lot of teams' mouth, is that like what if these rules were in place 10 years ago or 5 years ago, however far back you want to go. So yeah, I understand that it hurts.
That's why I stood on it, because I accepted that when I seen them score, I was like, we lost. That's the game's over. First person to score wins. So like I like that sudden death, playing not to die, but I like the new rule for that reason as well, because if it kept happening, maybe it's like, okay, it's just time to correct that continuous problem. And I like how damn, that shot's hitting me now. But but I like the analytics behind it, because they said the games were 11-1. Like, it was for the person that wins the coin toss usually
wins the game. Yes,
wins the game. And like, that doesn't mean that everybody 11 times the offense scored on the first drive. That's definitely not what that stat means, but that's what it looks like it's saying.
7 of the 11 was first drive score.
But like, there's a lot of great moments that happen because of that. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Nobody will give a fuck about
he was part of that.
Nobody will give a fuck about Tim Tebow if he didn't throw that slant on Ike Taylor old ass. Because that bro got blown out 40-3 the next game.
Same with the Cardinals and the Packers. Not the year before last, when Fitzgerald took like an 80-yarder. He didn't score, he got stopped, but then right afterwards they score, and that was a big moment.
But that's Fizz juice, though. That's what he do.
that is Fizz juice. The hardest part of that.
I was talking to somebody with it today. We were talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm a Cardinals fan. Not really. I just watched my first Super Bowl I ever watched was the Steelers versus the Cardinals, and I was like, nice. That was a good one. I was in Tampa. I had that keychain forever, like, and he said, yeah, but like, I'd be mad because like I still think San Antonio Holmes is out of bounds, and I was like, that's what you're supposed to say. But we know what happened. But I'm also mad with you because nobody remembers what Larry Fitzgerald did on the drive before that. Like,
every play.
Super Bowl MVP. He would have won that unanimously. Like, they might have gave it to him again next year because nobody would be able to outperform that. Like, but that's just washed away because like San Antonio Holmes made the greatest catch of Big Ben's career.
Well, if you don't know, now you know we're definitely a pro Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald. If you don't know the nickname, Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
But back to the overtime rules. Honestly, I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't think it was gonna happen so fast. But 29-3 and the voting between the owners, that's pretty decisive. You just know that the Dolphins voted against this, so Kev, they stood with you. They were standing with you. The Falcons ain't voted against it though. But hey, at least the Dolphins stood for you.
But since when do the Falcons do what I fucking think? Since when the fuck do they do what I said? Pay Julio. They sent him to Tennessee. I said get a defense.
Matt Ryan.
I said get a defense. They got more receivers. Right. Now we ain't got none of the motherfucking receivers and no defense. I said pay Foye, Lilcon. They said I'll trade Matt Ryan too.
Yeah, Kev told Calvin Ridley to stop gambling. And you know what he did? He played some more parlays.
I did say draft Kyle Pitts though, because I'm out here in games, but you know that boy was holding it down out here.
Yeah, but hey, I knew it was eventually gonna happen. It happened now, and I am just happy it is just postseason. I think the regular season's fine. We can have some ties. I love the ties because once a tie happens, I always circle it like one of these teams is going to be a reason why another team can't make it, or like this tie here is going to fuck something up in the playoffs. It's going to make playoffs a little bit more interesting. That's why the Steelers made it, because they had a tie on their record, even though they had only won one less game or whatever, but their overall percentage is a little bit better. So leaving it to just the postseason, and hey, let's see what happens. Like, because overtime in the postseason, I mean, it might seem like it happens a lot, hindsight bias, but in reality, overtime isn't always going to happen. It might be one game in the postseason, and even then, I kind of like the new strategies that might come out. Like if a team goes for 2 when they score and they're hot and rolling, and now the other team, they still get a chance with the ball, but now they get the added pressure of fuck, when we score, we still have to make this go for 2. You know, there's those little, it'll be fun to watch. Let's see how it goes. See how it,
nah, that shit's gonna be lit as fuck just off the fact that motherfucking but
you're
also
going
like
for it on 4th downs too. Because think about it, if a team scores on their first drive, a touchdown, you have to go for it on 4th downs, like no matter what, or vice versa. If they go for a field goal and the other team gets the ball, are you like, all right, let's just go for another field goal and then we'll play some good defense and we'll tie it up and let's go play some good defense? Or are you just gonna be like, fuck it, it's 4th down and whatever, we're still gonna go for it because we're trying to win the game? Like,
nice.
it will add an extra element to like the overtime aspect that we only get to see for playoffs, which will make playoffs, I think, a little bit more exciting.
We'll know when Brandon Staley has to do it. We'll know. We'll just watch Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
We'll know Brandon Staley. But also like some of the options that were given, like there was a chance that like, okay, they both can get a chance, but if the team goes for 2 and makes it, it's over. But like I understood that shit would probably get abused though, just off the fact that like, of course I'm gonna fucking go for 2.
Yeah,
but
just bring up the best 2-yard conversion play you got in the book.
But if that team misses it and the other team scores, all they got to do is kick the field goal and they won.
That's true.
So like that would live a fucking pretty shitty taste in a lot of people's mouth. But hey man, it'd be like that.
Bro,
sometimes.
imagine someone scores and then they just go for the field goal and they're the first team to score and they miss it. Like all that hate that, and like the other team, like I was saying, these new rules are make it a little bit like something that we haven't seen yet in NFL, which I didn't think I'd be able to say coming this far into like how long it's been around. So let's check it out.
Nah, definitely. And one thing I think is gonna be funny is gonna be, what if a team goes for it, gets it? Nah, they go for it, they get it, and they go for an onside kick, and they get it. Is that game over?
That would be game over, I believe. Yeah, if they get
that
the ball
shit
back.
Would be crazy. I'm doing that against Pat Mahomes. I already scored my fucking touchdown. So like, why the fuck would I give you a chance at the ball?
An 80-yard field and a 40-yard field, same thing with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, but so like, why would I even give you the ball?
We have to
jump. That's genius.
We have to jump into another story. We had the Bills. You reminded me of this. They're gonna have a new home coming soon. Not yet. Be a few years down the road. Bills get a brand new stadium. If my memory serves me right, it's an outdoor stadium, so the element will still play a factor for all you OG old heads that want football to play outdoors. The Bills are respecting that for you. And if I remember correctly, it's like a $1.6 billion, and the owner is going to be paying roughly I think almost $1 billion, close to $1 billion, because the state was going to put up $1 billion, and then a lot of hate from social media and a lot of people talking about how the state's paying so much money for a stadium, blah 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 blah. Now they're only paying $600 million. I think a third party's coming in and also paying a certain amount, but
don't be telling about my business moves. Don't be telling people about
I'm just saying though, the owners have never paid all the costs for a new stadium. It's usually some of the time, like, because who gets a lot of the money? The state does anyway. Like, so I don't know. Maybe it's the age of social media now, catching up and finding contracts and reading things, and they're getting upset about things that there's other issues to be upset about. But it's normal for an owner to get a lot of the money from the state, to get money from outside people who want to put money into it, invest, and then they get money afterwards when it actually comes up and they make money, selling the games and whatnot. But I'm just happy. Biggest thing to me is the Bills are going to stay outdoors. Any team up north, if you put a dome on your team, to me, you're looking kind of pussy.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, like the Vikings, they play in a dome, I believe. That's kind of pussy. Like, hey, but I know it snows, but it's just like, this is supposed to be your advantage. Like, this is those like OG mental mind tricks. I'm gonna win every battle that I can to get the edge. That's it right there.
Here's my thing. I would agree with you, but I would disagree with you. But you did make a good point when you said the Vikings, because not only do they have a dome, but there was a point in time that their fucking roof fell.
Yeah.
You call it a puss? Yeah,
Hey, you got a pussy dome.
I'm gonna call him lame though. I'm like, you kind of lame for that one. Y'all boys, this is a little lame. Y'all boys, because like I know that I'm not going out there in no motherfucking snow, so I can't talk that shit. But all I gotta say is about congrats to the Bills. They earned that shit. Their fucking franchise has been fucking working.
Flourished.
Has been motherfucking working and shit. They've been doing whatever they gotta do. So I shout out them boys. But no cap, dog. I'm gonna be at a game at this new stadium, so it's gonna be beautiful. Hopefully they play the Falcons. Hopefully we don't get beat too bad. But like, hey man, I'm pulling up. I gotta see what Bills Mafia talking about. So shout out them boys. I feel like if a fan base ever earned the stadium, they definitely did. Like they fucking did. Shout out them boys. That's just gonna be fun. I hope they put all types of TVs, all types of museums. I hope they put a fucking snow resort in that bitch, ski lodge, skiing, snowboarding, motherfucking bulldoing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they gotta do.
To me, that also confirms one, Josh Allen will be there for a long time because there's no way you're putting in that much money into a new stadium and then let your franchise QB walk out the door and then be shit for the next however long again. But yeah, no, I can't wait to beat them. I see them twice a year. I can't wait to see the new stadium when we stomp in there and show them that, oh, thank you for the new stadium. But two more stories before we head into some of the signings and re-signings. What's up?
I just noticed that you have beef with the Bills. Now that I think about it, you weren't always on their side this season.
No, I personally don't like the team, but I love watching Josh Allen. Like it's almost kind of like you could be a Steelers fan and you hate the Ravens, but you can kind of accept like Lamar Jackson's electrifying. Like it is fun to watch a Lamar Jackson play. That's kind of the boat I'm on right now. Like it's still fuck the Bills. I hope we beat them every time, and I hope they don't win many games. But Josh Allen's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, he is a hell of a guy.
Two stories. One big one is Bruce Arians, Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach, Super Bowl winning coach with them boys, is retiring from coaching. I wasn't gonna say step down, but Kev corrected me. That boy's stepping up. And he's going into a front office role. He's moving on up. And Todd Bowles is the new head coach, making him – it's a big deal because I think they said this is like the third or fourth only black head coach in history. So Todd Bowles, who was once the head coach, I believe, up on the Jets, is now getting head coaching job again on the Buccaneers. So congrats to Todd Bowles and congrats to Bruce Arians. Do you think Tom Brady had anything to do with this? Because that's okay. Thank you. All right. I thought that was all a little bit make believe.
See, here's the thing that people don't understand about Tom Brady. Only the media dick rides this man. Everybody respects him. He's a great guy. He's a nice dude. He's just a genuine great spirit. Fuck him. But at the end of the day, like Tom Brady is the most like team individual out there because he's a competitor athlete. He wants to win. That's all he cares about. This man came from the fucking Patriots dynasty. Like the only reason why that works is because you have to sit there and just be like, okay, he's the coach and I'm the player.
And on top of that, he's the reason I said ever to enforce what you're saying is because he made it normal, and I still think he's the only big-time great quarterback to take pay cuts the way he does. Like, he was doing that in 2004 when the media wasn't covering that. Like, being a Dolphin fan, I personally seen that so many times throughout the year. Tom Brady taking a pay cut. Oh, yeah, like, it was normal after a certain point that Tom Brady's just okay with being the 10th highest paid QB.
And it makes sense. And it makes sense that he was that he makes so many business moves like that because of that. But like that's some bullshit because they was not putting around nobody. When they had Randy Moss, they went and got Randy Moss. They got
the defense.
Yeah, they got Deion Branch, but man, the fuck you was paying Vince Wilfork all that money for?
They Darrelle Revis.
They did go get Darrelle Revis, and they won
Super Bowl. Last year, $100 million, or that without Brady, but that defense is Bill Belichick's number one.
But shout out that boy BA, man. I hate the front office that you in. If it was up to me, I prefer it go down in flames, but. But you know, not everything's up to me yet. But Shout out that boy. That boy gave up his button up to get a button down. That's all I'm hearing. That boy had a button up polo. Now he got the button down. And like it makes sense because like if you look at what he was doing that season, I feel like he deserved Coach of the Year. Because like you wouldn't have heard me say that out loud during the season. But like I just
looking back,
bro was playing on a torn ACL, and he has a heart monitor. Like, and he still wasn't wearing a fucking mask. Like this man is a fucking pimp.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's making it out to be like Tom Brady can't, or I'm gonna come back, but BA gotta go. I think you're kind of reaching, not even kind of. I think you're fully reaching. There's no story. Yeah, there's no story there. You just want to make a story.
Fake news, bitch ass niggas. Only I get to talk shit about Brady, gay ass motherfucker.
Super fake news.
You lame ass motherfuckers.
If anything, I honestly, because when he came to his post retirement and he talked to the press, he said that one of the bigger factors was he was sitting there because he treats he treats Todd Bowles and Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, both like as friends, like they're his friends and stuff like that.
He broke into his house.
Yeah, no, that was Brady. I'm talking about Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians talking about the press, like those are like almost like his friends, stuff like that. But you gotta be close. If you're seeing these people every single day, you're trusting them with your offense, with your defense. Like these are
staying away from your family.
Yeah. So, and his thing was like, if I don't want to retire and leave Todd Bowles with nothing, and then he gets fired a year or two later because their team doesn't have the success of what the Tom Brady led Buccaneers had with BA. It's kind of unfair. So when he was like, I don't want to leave him with nothing, and that was one of the reasons, I was like, that is so real. That's so like, even if you don't like the Bucs stuff, I just thought like as a friend, as a person, that's kind of dope. Just be like, I'm gonna leave you with Tom Brady and them because now you can get the success and you can like come a year from now, they're not firing you. You're not, because especially being a black head coach, that like you usually don't have a lot. There's not a lot of jobs for you, and there's also like you don't stay long unless you're Mike Tomlin and Brian Flores, and even him, he's not even a head coach this year. So I thought that was pretty dope.
I respect it. I love it. I got nothing but love and respect for Uncle Bruce. He need to get out that Bucs uniform, or he need to get out of that. I'd rather see him in a motherfucking. He could look good in the Eagles uniform. I see him in the Eagles uniform.
He used to be a Cardinals coach. I could see him going back maybe. But yeah, I'll see him not handling Kyler Murray like a. I feel like BA gonna be some real old school.
What Kyler Murray? If you don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I just talk Brady, bro. You get Brady on the phone and say, bro, you need to chill out. You need to take a pay cut, actually. But another quarterback, and our last story that we need to talk about is Baker Mayfield stuck in limbo. Like, he can't go anywhere. Browns only want a first-round pick, or they're not trading him. Deshaun Watson settled both of his the grand juries in two different districts, two different grand juries, two different district attorneys and everything. Both didn't take him to trial, but he still might have some civil cases. And Big Ben, people are comparing it to Ben Roethlisberger. When he settled in civil court with one person, he still was suspended, I think, 4 games. So they still think he might get suspended, which makes sense why Deshaun Watson's first year on the team, he's only guaranteed $1 million out of the 200 and something. The next 3 years is when he makes 40 mil. And so do you think this is them keeping him? Like, I don't know. I think it's already tarnished where I wouldn't want to put Baker and trust him to play quarterback. But then again, maybe he wants to film. Maybe he wants to show teams he looks good come next season. But do you think they're keeping Baker around because they might need him for maybe 6 games of the year before Deshaun Watson can come in? Or like, what's going on over there?
I really hate this. I hate the way the world works right now. Because, like, oh my goodness, this man Giannis is a problem. But I never like having to defend Baker Mayfield. But I gotta do it. And everybody knows I don't like this guy. It's not that I don't.
Don't tell me you think he's a first round pick trade type of guy.
I think that's what they're doing to keep him in limbo because like nobody's gonna be giving up a single first round pick, and Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, and Deshaun Watson have all been traded.
And there's not
Like,
many teams that need a QB.
Not a single first round pick was given up. They would rather go get Ken Pickett in the first round than actually give up a first round pick.
Yeah, cheap rookie contracts.
So like, ain't nobody giving up no motherfucking first round pick for Baker. But Baker is not the terriblest quarterback. He was hurt last season. Didn't have a great season. He was hurt. He had a really good team and didn't do nothing with it. But fundamentally, he's still a pretty good quarterback. Maybe not top 15, but he might be 16. So, like, I understand if Deshaun Watson doesn't play, they're going to keep him. But, like, I think there's a lot of teams that could do better than, like, Sam Darnold.
Oh, you talking about the Panthers? The Panthers did come out and they said Baker. I don't know who said it first and who, I don't know, but basically it was a mutual disinterest between Baker and the Panthers. And I don't think I've ever seen that headline before. A mutual disinterest. Neither team wants to do it. Like the player nor team want to do one thing in each other.
I think Baker Mayfield is better than Carson Wentz.
I see. Now I can't co-sign that. I honestly think Carson's better than Baker, but that's all. That's all opinion because that is a close comparison. I would say he's right
they're
around
right
that
next
tier.
to each other. They're 116, the other 17. And
But
Derek Carr's number 15.
I'm not sure. Carson's money this year, but I just know Baker. I think it was like 16 million is what's coming to him this year. The Browns are probably gonna hit it and be stuck with him, which I expect to happen. But in all honesty, if he does go somewhere, I don't think it's Seattle because Seattle has already spoke that they're okay with all the picks they have and the team they already have right now. They don't need Baker and all that money coming that way, and they have no money. So if the only team that don't have a quarterback in reality, because you can't count the Jags, you can't count the Jets. They just spent a first and second round pick on Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. So like maybe the Panthers, like you said, but they already came out and said they don't want him. So now he's stuck. I don't care. He's working out with Cole Beasley and Edelman and somebody else. That shit don't matter. You can work. Like ask Colin Kaepernick how many workouts he did and how many teams signed with him in the last 5 years.
Hey. He was the honorary captain for the Michigan's spring game.
See, I'm not hating on. I love Cap.
What do you mean?
But all I'm saying is, just because you're working out with them on the side, as Des Bryant, he went 2 years and he was working out on Instagram every damn day. Like I'm just saying, like you can work out all you want, but at the end of the day, like if he's the one saying out, I'm not showing up to training camp. I don't think the Browns really care. I feel like honestly, the Browns might take him to court. Like he might be the first QB because they don't care if he comes back and plays, but they're like, all right, but we want our money because you're not getting paid $16 million not to come to our team. But that was honestly the last of the storylines that has been going around the NFL. To kick us off with the trades and what's going on with the NFL right now, there's outside of this, like the retirements, new stadiums, and new rules. We have Matt Ryan getting traded to the Colts. We already hit on this a couple times. Kev, how do you feel about Matt Ryan being gone? That was your boy, right?
That was my cousin, mentor, uncle, family.
La Familia.
Invited to every barbecue. But I understand it. I heard Arthur Blank talk. Sometimes I gotta do that. He owns my happiness from September to February. Usually doesn't do anything with
The
it.
happiness is in your hands.
Yeah, it's in his hands. Every September to February. I don't allow him to take my summers away. But every September to February, I be having my happiness in his hands. He don't do nothing with it. But I respect it because like he was supposed to get the highest cap hit in NFL history, 58 million, and that wasn't by like 1 point. What's up?
Y'all still getting hit with that cap hit.
What?
Yeah, y'all are still getting hit with the 44, I think, 0.5 million cap hit. Because that
What the fuck we gotta pay?
I'm not too sure, but that was part of the deal basically. Like the money's already going to like that's why also I don't want to shit on y'all's free agency, but y'all haven't done anything really. And
We
most of
didn't.
it is because of the fact that y'all still have to pay Matt Ryan his fat cap hit. So y'all got rid of him for the next year because I think even if he don't play next year, there's still like a 20 something like because the Colts are gonna get hit with like a $26 million cap hit no matter what getting Matt Ryan. And I don't know if that's because of something next year or what, but he is finally off but that was that last paycheck, you know, that last alimony check, that last you're like you're signing it with a happiness. Like, here, my last one. Have a good one.
That's some bullshit. I didn't know that. But I understand it though. They're trying to figure something out. But like they're gonna blame this on Arthur Smith later in the season and fire him. And he's a good coach.
True. Yeah,
and
that happened.
But it's okay. I understand. We're gonna be at Limbo. I have a podcast to talk about, so I'll still be watching football. But I'd rather but Marcus Mariota isn't a bad pick.
That wasn't bad.
Pick up for us. But I believe Matt Ryan can win a Super Bowl in Indianapolis. Get Pat McAfee and them boys a parade. Imagine Pat McAfee and them boys at a parade. That should be lit.
They would.
I'm rooting for him to do his best. Like he has a great team around him. Probably needs a little bit better receivers. OBJ and Jarvis Landry are both on the market right now. So like, and they got money. But OBJ is gonna have to battle that torn ACL.
Yeah.
But like, I like him to win a Super Bowl if that team can just stay motivated. I heard that first off, his suit, if you watch the press off conference, suit, it was there. It was all the way there. That boy was living his best life. But like,
are you not afraid of the injury concerns? That was his biggest thing, is not because he does play pretty well. I won't say great. He plays pretty well, but he doesn't. When he is the starter on teams, that's why Tannehill was brought in as a backup for the Titans, and now you see Tannehill has taken the job, and he just has those because the way he plays is kind of more like he runs out the pocket. He's a smaller guy, and like he tends to get a little bit hurt, a little banged up. So like I will say the contract's cheap for a starting quarterback in NFL. So like I'm not worried about the numbers, but are you just worried as a Falcons like a team like this guy? Because I don't think he's bad. I think this might be a great opportunity for him. But does those injury concerns bother you at all with him?
Definitely, I don't see him playing. I could see him missing 4 or 6 games this season, no problem. But like, I'm not rooting for that. But
of course not.
I don't know what the fuck these niggas finna do. I'm just here to root for them boys every week to get these W's. I'm gonna just see what the fuck happens at this point.
Real fan. Take some notes out there, some people. Don't go, oh, my team sucks, so I'm gonna start like liking this team a little bit. And the next thing you know, you're a fan of this team because, oh, they have this player and I fuck with this player. Nah. Stick with your team, bro. You can enjoy talent elsewhere, but stick with your team.
We still got Kyle Pitts for 2 more years. I'm gonna see how they could develop him more. But he's gonna get a triple team because they ain't got nobody out there.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be kind of concerned. But we'll see. The offseason, this is still there's been a fast offseason, but this doesn't mean the offseason is short. Just because a lot of things happen early don't mean that there's still 60 more days of it. So just wait. Another story on the not story, but another big. I mean, we're gonna go from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. The Dolphins went out and they traded their first pick this year, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a 28th pick, 29th pick. So honestly, not that big of a pick for the first round. A second round pick this year and a 4th rounder, and then next year's 4th rounder and a 6th rounder. So all that to get Tyreek Hill. I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if I ever told y'all. But I myself is a little bit of a Dolphin fan. I dabble in the Dolphin water.
Swim with the Dolphins, swim with the Fins.
And I am always pro fuck them picks, especially when they're 4th rounders and 6th rounders. And then basically 2 second rounders when you're giving them a 29th first and a second rounder. We still got a 1st round next year because we have another pick from either, I think the 49ers gave us a pick next year. So we still have our 1st rounder next year. All of that to get Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, and put that next to Jalen Waddle. Yeah, give me that. How did you feel when you heard this? Because you knew I was already hyped. You know, how did you feel knowing that this is a big splash from the Dolphins?
They got drug money over there in Miami. They're using drug money in Miami. That boy Charles told me that shit about LA. I told him they're using drug money over there in Miami because they always had this shit. This was some shit they buried back in the damn Marino days. They digging this shit up. Man, I respect them boys. The fullest for that shit, but for making that move. But Tyreek coming is a fucking problem no matter what team he's on. Like, and you got Tua accurate ass. I just imagine these 4-yard slants, these 4-yard ends, 2-yard ends, 3-yard ends. Tyreek taking up the field. That's 40 yards. Because, like, if you watch that Bills game, this man Tyreek is literally just coming down, and you immediately, once he catches the ball, it's a foot race. Everybody runs to an angle.
Yeah, it would be like an 8-yard catch that he turns into like a 25-yard gain.
Because you got to catch him at an angle. You're not catching him straight up. I don't give a fuck who you is. You getting burnt. So y'all picking up the fastest player in the league is fucking nice. Great pickup for y'all boys. I like that shit. That shit was a good look for y'all. And I just want to see, like, can Tua throw that bit deep to my boy? Because he going to have the short ones all day. And, like, I dare you to fucking double team Tyreek with motherfucking Mike Gesicki and Jalen Waddle right there. I fucking dare you to double team his eyes like they were doing with the Patriots, not with the Chiefs and shit. But that's a great pickup for y'all boys. And Mike McDaniels is a fucking nerd. So I feel like he was in that bitch the whole time. Like, Tyreek runs this many miles per hour. He broke this many miles per hour this time. Blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Like, he's a fucking issue. My one problem with him, though, is I feel like Tua is a really accurate quarterback, so he's going to be throwing it exactly where he's at and not where he's going sometimes. So, like, I want to know, like, a lot of Mahomes' interceptions this season were off of tip passes. So I feel like that might be an issue. Got it, like, the tip passes off his hands. But, like, besides that, I think that's probably one of the best pickups of the offseason, probably top 5. Because that's short job boys all the way up into the top 10 of the AFC. That's going crazy right now.
See, I'm here to say, if there was a most improved player award in NFL, which there isn't, there's one in NBA, but there's not one in NFL, but there's a most improved player, I think he's going to be Tua this year. And it's because I think he's finally going to play all 16 or 17 games, maybe just 16, because, you know, like, people aren't playing all 17, COVID, all that stuff. Because of the fact that we addressed the offensive line and Mike McDaniels, I think we got some running backs now that are actually going to do something. We're not going to be ranked 32nd in the NFL for running yards, not even making 1,000 yards as a team. So, like, this Dolphins, just watch. I think we're going to be kind of electrifying next year. And also because he's going to be protected is the biggest signing, the number 1 free agent in the NFL, best player on the market according to PFF and ESPN. He got both the number 1 honors on both lists. Is Taron Armstead, the left tackle, formerly on the Saints, Pro Bowler, phenomenal talent, signed with the Dolphins, 5 years, $75 million, up to $87.5 million if he hits his incentives and everything. But he got the bag. But basically 5 years, $15 million a year for the number 1 left tackle. If not number 1, he's definitely top 3. Trent Williams and Bacanari are the only other 2 left tackles that you can even argue are in that conversation with him. So Yeah, give me that. Give me that left tackle. This is why I agree with you. This is Tua's make or break year. If Tua doesn't come out and do what he's supposed to do, there's no more excuses. You got the left tackle. You got not just one wide receiver one, but two wide receiver ones in Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Cedric Wilson was a pickup from the Cowboys, who we talked about throughout the season when Gallup got hurt, and he balled out in the slot. Gesicki's a beast at tight. Like, there's no more excuses. This in a running game.
I don't think it's about excuses. Like, there's nobody 30 on your fucking team like that. Like, nobody like Xavier. Your defense isn't that old. Your offense is young. I don't think it's about excuses or nothing. I think it's just about improvement, like you said. Like, y'all boys definitely can be are becoming a title contending team. So now it's about executing, figuring things out. Letting Mike McDaniels, they got a new coach and everything. Y'all figure it out. Y'all boys make the playoffs real quick. Just make the playoffs, and then that's when people can start screaming no excuses for Tua this year. Like, I don't know why everybody's so hard on motherfucking Tua. Ever since he first played, everybody's been so hard on it. Let that boy play real quick, Alex. Let that boy play real quick and see what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, y'all GM has been the same GM forever. And he's probably made more moves in the last 5 years than he's had his entire
Since 08.
That's a long time. How long?
Yeah, no, he's been about like 15. He hasn't been forever just because he came in GM in like 08. And then like there is a statistic that shows our record before 08 since like the 50s to 08. And we're like throwing out numbers, not real, but basically like 270. Great record. And then since he became GM, it's like 50 and 70. So it is kind of like I won't say he's great, but there is a lot of issues with him. But he does draft well, and he did get Tyreek Hill here. So like,
I think you guys are consistently middle of the pack.
These past 2 years, he balled out.
Yeah, and think about that defense that you guys got. You guys weren't buying players. Like, Quitter picked up J.C. Jackson, but you guys weren't buying players like that. Y'all were drafting them. Like, Xavier Howard got drafted, correct?
Yep. And
So,
then we drafted Minka Fitzpatrick and traded him. He was homegrown basically because we kept him and he balled out, and then we traded him. And then Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle.
I respect y'all boys. Y'all boys be your team is building. I don't know why people got to put y'all automatically in the categories, like, because like I guess it's the best of Florida, but I don't know. I think y'all are building. Regardless of what y'all do, y'all boys gonna make the playoffs this year. Have a great defense, and let's see what schemes Mike McDaniels can come up. And let's get Tua deep. I need to see Tua deep balls. Let's get Tua.
I just want to say, like, I don't like make or break is a harsh term. I just think this year is the year where you can go from either being the Jimmy Garoppolo of the league to like a Joe Burrow. And this is the year to do, or Justin Herbert. Like, you were drafted with Herbert and Burrow. That's where a lot of the weight comes from. A lot of the pressure, because also he's undersized. I think a lot of the Fitz magic coming in in fourth quarters for him hurts him in the media eyes. All that stuff kind of makes the people on the media come at him the way they do. And and plus he was banged up at Alabama. So like injury issues in the draft was another issue. Like, so media's already been against him since day one with all those things going on. So Herbert and Burrow both balling out don't help. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the year where you've shown why you're drafted in the top 5 with Herbert and Burrow instead of being considered a Jimmy G or a Baker. Like, oh, he's good, but he's also sometimes a liability. And I think he's going to prove it. I think this is the year where people shut up about Miami being mediocre, and let's ride.
Bro, Chris Middleton just got thrown out the game. This Brooklyn Nets and Bucks game is going crazy.
That's a bum anyway. But we got some more teams to talk about. Let's just hit them in order. We got the NFC South right here. This is your backyard, Kev. You have Winston signing with the Saints, 2 years, $28 million, kind of getting the bag. 15 of it is guaranteed. And with that signing, they also got Andy Dalton to back him up at $6 million a year. which means Taysom Hill is definitely the third string quarterback, tight end.
Bro, that's probably the biggest finesse in like football. Like that shit is bad. 40 mil altogether. He threw. I would hate to look at his stats from last year. And now he's playing tight end. Like that's the meanest.
At $10.5 million a year at tight end. Top 10 tight end money.
Thank you. Well, I dare him to attempt to get top 10 tight end yards.
I would love to see it if you're making that bag, but that boy Sean Payton dipped out for a reason.
Yeah, them boys got to figure they got to get their life figured out. James Winston's a good re-sign for them. I don't care. I hope they like slowly burn in like a battery acid. So regardless, fuck them.
Next team on that list is the Panthers. Not much. They re-signed a lot of their players, stuff like that. But DJ Moore was extended. He's a great young talent at wide receiver. He got $61.9 million, 41 guaranteed for the next 3 years. I like it just because maybe you get a quarterback in this draft that can finally throw him the ball. And maybe Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy because the defense is fine. The wide receivers just don't got the people to throw the ball. DJ Moore is pretty nice.
I think that's a good pickup. I've never been not a good pickup, a good extension because like I've never been like I'm always a good receivers fan. So like DJ Moore has a good connection to Carolina. He sells tickets. He probably one of the highest jersey sales probably behind Cam Newton and shit. But like he's pretty good as long as he stays injury free and like they can keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, so that way they can run the ball. I think he's always a good receiver. But do you think he could ever get to like the top like level, like go to a Pro Bowl with his quarterbacks?
100%, because I just think if he gets a quarterback and throwing the ball consistently, because within like the first 4 or 5 games when Sam Darnold was on, and we were talking about Sam Darnold maybe being the best white person on this team, and but that was also because he played pretty bad competition, stuff like that. But he was racking up yards, stuff like that. I think he's similar to like a Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin type of skill. Like he's not getting 2,000 yards in the season, maybe, or 1,500, but he's gonna get 1,000 to 1,500 every year. And he can play the slot, he can play outside. He just hasn't had the opportunity, and not only because of quarterbacks, but because of game plan when Christian McCaffrey's in. Oh, we're just gonna fucking run the ball a whole bunch of times, and then when we throw the ball, it's going to Christian McCaffrey. And it's kind of hard to have other people eat while this person's getting not only 20 touches on the field, but an extra 7 catches out of 9 targets.
They're going to get to the Giants' point, like, hey, man. Like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck they got going on out there because they have a pretty decent defense. Well, we thought they had a decent defense, but they picked – Stephon Gilmore's a free agent, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure they re-signed him yet or not, but I don't believe so. But yeah.
Yeah, fuck them boys. Them boys ain't doing shit. It's the Bucks versus whatever the fuck we can put up.
Well, talking about the Bucks, they're the other team on the list. Fournette did re-sign with Tom Brady. He got 3 years, $21 million, up to 24 if he hits his incentives. But 3 years, basically $7.5 million a year for running backs. Not bad, but it's also like they gave him a pretty good bag for it. But playoff Lenny is like Tom Brady loves his receivers, and you just need a running back that can run through the trenches within the 5-yard line. And this Bucks team has been good, and it's staying the same.
As off-season Lenny right now, but like I respect. That was a good pickup, and they got him for like $7 million a year. So I'm hoping he hits all his incentives. He deserves his paper. But off-season Lenny is a monster. This man literally laughs when he gets tackled. Like,
it's different, bro.
That is a problem. He's been a problem. Remember what he used to do at LSU to motherfuckers? Like, he used to really kill shit on a regular basis. So, like, I'm always down to see that boy eat. And good shout out on him getting another contract. He deserves it. But good shit for them boys. For that boy. Fuck the uniform, though. Whatever uniform you got.
Fuck them boys. But another NFC team. Let's keep it in the NFC. We're going to the NFC West, formerly known as NFC Best. But
formerly,
Matt Stafford got 3 years, $129 million extension,
For
$60 million signing bonus. And I love it. I love Stafford. I used to fuck with him on the Lions. So him finally getting the money he deserves on a good team. And I think Maffei's all in, coming off the ring. Let's keep it going. So yeah, that boy Stafford got the bag. And on the flip side, Bobby Wagner, 5 years, $50 million, just signed with them today. Mark your calendars. They stacking up on the offense and defense, Kev.
Hey, if they're smart, there's no salary cap on motherfucking coaches. So they're smart. They better give Sean McVay a John Gruden deal, like 10 years, $100 million. Like,
no,
like
facts. He almost got left for a podcast.
And they offered him $20 million just to go to ESPN or FX. I can't remember. He got offered $20 million to go somewhere. I'm a coach. I don't know. I just won the Super Bowl. So shout out that boys. But they heard they got Aaron Donald coming back. But Matthew Stafford getting that bag makes sense. He just but without his receivers, I don't know if he's really
See, I like that you said that because they signed Allen Robinson to a 3-year, $46.5 million, $30 million guaranteed already in his bank account.
Damn, what's up with them giving all this money and signing bonuses? God damn.
That frees up the cap space. That's the big deal about signing bonuses is you get the money up front. We just hope you don't get hurt.
That's real.
Because it don't feed in the cap space next year and the next after, all that stuff.
I respect it.
But yeah, the Rams team they're letting Odell go out the door and Robert Woods, but they're keeping Cooper Kupp and bringing in Allen Robinson. So I love Allen Robinson. He's finally off the Bears.
They can definitely make something to shake with Big Bro. But what about I heard they signed Bobby Wagner big ass too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They stacked up on defense and offense. They're stacked right. They're not stacked, but like
they're stacked.
Von Miller out the door, Odell out the door. Okay, it's bringing Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner.
God damn.
Not miss a step.
You know he's gonna get 20 tackles by himself every game.
This is gonna be. I still like the Rams. I still like Stafford. But they do have to face the 49ers, and they did sign a defensive back, Charvarius Ward, 3 years, $40.5 million, coming from the Chiefs. He was their number one corner on the Chiefs, so the Chiefs did get a little weaker at DBs. But the 49ers, maybe Emmanuel Mosley is going to come back off the injury, and if that happens, this team is going to be pretty good at DBs. Like their defense is going to look kind of nice. And another signing I want to point out before I throw it to you is Ray McLeod signed to the 49ers, 2 years, $10.4 million. That boy Ray, Tampa, where we're from, went to Sickles. That boy's again 2 years, $10.4 million to go to the 49ers.
Nice. That's when that boy played special teams. When you play special teams, you get in film and you can show off your skills. And now that boy's got $10 million a year. Like that special team. And don't get me wrong, he was doing this thing at receiver, slot back receiver, what they had him doing. But that boy showed his skills. Shout out that boy getting that bag. He deserved that.
And then 2 more teams we're going to talk about real quick. I'm going to run through is the Chiefs. They got Marvelous Scantling, 3 years, $30 million, up to 36. And then Juju, 1 year, up to 10.75 if they hit all their incentives. This is, I'm guessing, to replace Tyreek Hill walking out the door. And then they brought in Ronald Jones from the Buccaneers, 1 year, $5 million at running back. So they're just trying to stack up on their offense here.
The Chiefs are boofing, man. You think it's let me know how you've been saying that this contract is not it since day one. How do you feel about like the after effects of Patrick Mahomes' contract popping up like random blips? Like either they just lost Tyreek and Tyrann Matthews, my personal favorite free agent.
he's worth it. I don't want to say he's not worth it because he's definitely MVP caliber, and you don't know how much that's actually worth to a team. But it definitely has a drawbacks because I've always pointed out, why did the Patriots, when Tom Brady was on there, was always a Super Bowl type team? Maybe they didn't win it every year, but every other year they did. So why were they always in that conversation? Tom Brady took pay cuts. Why? Because you can build around him, get teams good for it. You can work with the cap space all you want, but I do believe there's going to be certain times where it bites you in the ass. Like certain situations like right now, they don't have the money in their pockets right now to pay Tyreek Hill. So that burned them in the ass. But if on the flip side, God forbid, Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, that's going to burn him in the ass. Like he's going to have guaranteed money, which they're going to have to pay him no matter what. And so it might burn you, and it might be really good because, the cap space is going up and you can pay them. They're going to be owed more later. But at the end of the day, Devonte Adams left, Tyreek Hill left. Both their quarterbacks took massive contracts. Due to that, teams have to build around it, and you can't afford number one tier guys in other positions when you're paying the number one tier guy in another position. Like it's just money don't work like that. But I still think the team is good. I think Juju and MVS is still a good pickup for him. But this is almost like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I can't wait to see how both these guys look come next season without they're just so it went hand in hand. PB and J. So now that it's a season without that, I can't wait to see just watch them.
We'll see what they got going on, man. But that's a big threat for them. I think Andy Reid doesn't have much time left coaching, and I really see if they can't really get this shit figured out and set up, it's just gonna be Pat Mahomes versus the world over there. Damn, Giannis got 37 right now.
Yeah, we'll see. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs until they get knocked off, so we'll see what's going on with them. Another team, and the last team before we break it down, is Darius Smith, who last time we were here, we left off with him signing with the Ravens. Comes out, he faked everybody out, popped a U-turn, and now he's signing with the Vikings. 3 years, $42 million, up to $47 million if he hits all incentives. Getting in the bag, staying in division, and having to face the Packers twice a year. But this Vikings defense, one of the worst last year, definitely needed someone at Darius Smith's level.
That makes sense. Did we talk about I like Z. No matter what Z gonna do, Z gonna eat, and that does help their pass rush. Because I don't think their pass rush was terrible, but they had some athletic players on defense. But did we talk Devonte Adams on the Raiders?
Yeah, we talked that the last time. That was one of the big stories.
You don't want to talk it again?
No, we can't talk again, but I do need you to break it down for them boys.
Hey, man, if you didn't know, we really don't give a fuck, but we don't mind telling you again. This is the Totally Blitz podcast right now, and we've been out here covering the off-season stuff, coming to you real quick, letting you know what we got going on, off-season stuff. Don't forget to tune in for our Friday night fight clubs. Them boys be hitting consistently on Friday nights, and then we always gonna hit you with a recap afterwards because we can't leave you with it. But shout out the game. Shout out the NFL. I miss you, Matt Ryan. You're always gonna be number one in my heart, number 14 on my draft board. But hey, man, this has been a Totally Blitz podcast, man, and we really don't give a fuck how you feel, where you're from, or what you stand on. But have a great day. Make sure you stay hydrated, and make sure you keep up with your team, and go check on your friends if their favorite players is getting traded right now. They got jerseys that
for real
make no sense right now. But hey, man, this has been Totally Blitz. Yeah,
the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with